Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be speaking to you about your function in the world and what that means to you and how you can come into fuller fruition of what that can be for you. So, I hope to offer you some higher insights about what your real function is in the world. Whereas I know so many of us are really concerned about our online businesses and who we are in the world and what kind of a business we're going to have. And although there are threads of this that pertain to your life purpose, the kind of life function I'm talking about has to do with your spiritual function. And all of us have a spiritual function in this world. So before I begin, I want to tell you a little bit about myself just so that you know who I am. I have been a student of A Course in Miracles for 24 years. I have also had many other careers. It's not that all that I did was study the Course in Miracles. The Course in Miracles came into my life in 1994, and already I had a good 15-year career in the film business. I then went on to become a graduate gemologist. I've been in real estate where I really catapulted my income. I've been an investor in the stock market through options trading. I've had various twists and turns in my life that all had to do with continuing to expand my freedom, continuing to release all forms of limitation, continuing to explore all of the things that Spirit would have for me, just in the same way that Spirit holds many gifts that would be so delighted to give to you. But in order to be able to receive them, we need to let go of so many judgments about ourselves and the world, so much guilt we have against ourselves for who we think we are and what we really are in fact. So this puts me in a position now of being pushed by Spirit to start to teach. And so I'm starting this week with one of the first teachings that I want to share with you. And this comes as a recent realization for myself. And so it's always best, if you're a teacher yourself, to be teaching what you have just learned, to be teaching what you really are familiar with yourself. Because in this way, it's an authentic teaching, and you are able to share with others who are just slightly a few steps behind you in the path, because that's what God really calls for you to do, is to share your knowledge and share what you have learned, because this is how it flows through you more easily. You don't want all of these spiritual learnings that you have had to just kind of stay stuck inside of you. We want to try to elevate the world, and you actually practically have a responsibility to share your learning. You know, we're all here on earth, and we've descended down into this earth, and we found it shockingly difficult to deal with compared to where we had come from. And we all came from the same source, which we can refer to as home if you'd like, but we came from a pure source of love, where everything was shared at all times. And there wasn't anything but love in that pure source environment that we are an extension of. So here we are on Earth, we have physical bodies, we're living in a 3D reality, and we're confronted with such an opposite of where we came from. Now we think that we are separate bodies, we are separate from each other, that we have separate thoughts, that we have separate feelings, and we have so much to navigate in just taking care of our physical bodies with food, clothing, shelter, and love that we need to survive. And then our whole lives become engaged with, well, how am I going to survive? I'm going to get an education, I'm going to get a job, I'm going to make a living, and I'm going to make my way in the world this way. I'm going to have relationships, I'm going to have family, I'm going to have extended family. I may become close to pets and love animals or love plants or love various aspects of this earthly experience. but ultimately we are seeking to get back to God. We are seeking to get back to Source and back to love. And we are actually all doing this together. We are all here temporarily, and we may come back lifetime after lifetime. We're all trying to raise the level of consciousness of humanity. We are attempting to heal humanity as we are healing ourselves, and this is the journey that we are on. Now, if you want to accelerate this journey, there are a few things that the Course in Miracles is really clear and really adamant about. And one is your function in the world. Now, some people might confuse us about what your job might be or what your life purpose might be. Although you may have a life purpose that would be, I'm going to work with children in this lifetime, I'm going to be an author in this lifetime, I'm going to help clean up the environment in this lifetime. Your true function in the spiritual world has to do with your ability to forgive. Forgiveness in this respect helps heal the world. As you know, we come down here and we experience quite a lot of difficulty and quite a lot of challenges. But when we hang on to the things that have hurt us or that have made us really angry, or things about the world that we are so upset about, or there are a few people in our lives that we are continually upset about, or there's always the aspect of needing to forgive yourself, right? And the Course in Miracles really teaches that every person or thing or situation or circumstances that you forgive becomes a turnaround, in that you are actually forgiving yourself for what you perceive to be some kind of sin or weakness or lack in some way. The Course reminds us that we are perfect, that we were created perfect, that we are holy, that we are extensions of this source energy of love, and that is who we really are. And that it is only through this illusion that we are calling 3D reality here on Earth that we begin to perceive ourselves as less than. I mean, who wouldn't think of themselves as less than? We are constantly comparing ourselves. We are looking at this person and that person and say, well, how do I compare to them? Am I as wealthy as they are? Do I have enough success the way that they do? Am I teaching as well as they are? Am I as good at math? Am I skinny enough, tall enough, fat enough, or whatever is going to be the judgment that you have? We don't have enough information about other people to be able to judge accurately what is their life path, all of the circumstances around what has created them to be who they are. So not only are we judging against ourselves, we judge against other people who we perceive to be less than we are. All of these judgments cause us to feel bad about ourselves or bad about each other. And where forgiveness comes in here is we get to erase all that and understand it's none of our business what other people are going through. Of course, if something really triggers something in your heart about someone's circumstances and you feel called to help, then that is what you respond to. But ultimately, you are here growing yourself constantly. And there's no lack of evidence to be given to you on what it is exactly that God would give you or God would have you have. There is so much abundance and prosperity and goodness and love and good health and good relations all around us that we can look to those things as examples of what is available to us if we could simply release judgments, allow forgiveness to occur, and release everything that closes ourselves off to what A Course in Miracles would term as heaven on earth. So as we are launching into 2018 this year, I'm going to come back to the subject of forgiveness again and again and again, because every time that you are able to forgive something, you reclaim power within yourself. You reclaim more light within yourself. You reclaim all that wants to be given to you through that aspect of forgiveness. Many people have said that once they have really truly been able to forgive someone who really deeply hurt them, then they have experienced so many miracles in their lives. And this is absolutely true. So I'm going to leave you a few points to be considering and to actually journal about if you want to fully take advantage of this few minutes that you have spent with me today. Number 1, what do you feel is your true function in this world? And if you understand the aspect of forgiveness, what is it about forgiveness that is currently holding you back? Are you feeling anger or resentment towards somebody right now? And would you be willing to release that so that you can come fully into the miracles that God would have for you? And finally, who is the one person that you feel the most anger or resentment towards? And if you are having difficulty in releasing this person in forgiveness, I'm going to leave you a link somewhere in the description for a forgiveness CD that was created a few years ago that assists you in connecting with a divine power that can help you with this forgiveness process. The CD is called The Wings of Forgiveness. It's a channeled, downloaded, energetic meditation. And for those of you who really are having trouble with a particular aspect of forgiveness, it will take you through this journey so that you can finally be released from the difficulty and the hell that you are in from hanging on to this anger and resentment that you might have towards another, towards a situation, or towards yourself. Sending you all my blessings, Suzanne.